it's not about popularity. I think she's that good at basketball. And it's just that simple. We're gonna look back at a time like this and just be, grateful that.
Any turnovers, that's not gonna get the job done, but I think just a lot of things to learn from. I didn't think we played well. I had a lot of fun just playing and enjoying the atmosphere, like talking with the people courtside. Like I was just trying to smile and have fun. Like it doesn't really matter, like win or loss.
Remember Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders? Well, there's a new dual sport legend in town, and she's changing the game for women's sports. Caitlin Clark is about to take on the LPGA while still crushing it in the WNBA. But here's the real question. Can she really excel in both sports? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Caitlin's not just following in the footsteps of those legends, she's blazing her own trail. You know what's crazy? She's decided to compete in professional golf with the LPGA right after her rookie WNBA season.
Like I said, she's a special player. She commands so much defensive attention. And I think that's one of the things that separates her in terms of winning that Rookie of the Year.
How do you not give the credit to Caitlin Clark of making a beautiful, beyond half-court pass?
When you talk about greats in this game, the Michael Jordans and the Kobe Bryants and the Steph Currys, they are putting her in that category, the Diana Taurasi's.
That's right, next month she's hitting the links for an LPGA event, including a Pro-Am tournament. Can you imagine? But here's the thing, basketball and golf are totally different beasts. Some people are skeptical. Can Caitlin really dominate on the court and the green? It's not gonna be easy. She's facing some serious challenges and not everyone thinks she can pull it off. Will she prove the doubters wrong or crash and burn? Let's talk about what she's up against. Forget about golf for a second. Let's rewind to Caitlin's rookie season on the court. You think you know impressive? Her debut had fans and critics losing their minds. One move, one photo, and suddenly everyone's talking, but that's just the tip of the iceberg.
WNBA draft is this huge success, and it's like anybody that's paying attention, like, this is the biggest star in sport.
Probably could have given ourselves a little bit better of a chance to try to get it to a game 3 to give our fans an opportunity to cheer us on here at home, and that's kind of what stunk about it. But
made an effort to get up and put pressure on people. They're fast, I know, but if we can continue to do that, that's just gonna have to be a habit.
Caitlin Clark's rookie season, it was nothing short of spectacular. We're talking 19.1 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.9 rebounds per game. Those aren't just good numbers, they're I'm coming for that Rookie of the Year award numbers. She didn't just show up to play, she showed up to dominate. But here's where it gets really wild. Remember the Indiana Fever? Yeah, the team that was basically the WNBA's punching bag. Well, guess what happened when Caitlin stepped onto their court? Suddenly, they're not looking so feverish anymore. They went from being the worst team in the league to actual playoff contenders. Talk about a fever dream come true. Now, let's talk about that debut game. Caitlin didn't just play, she put on a show. There's this photo that went viral. Caitlin crossing up Dallas Wings rookie JC Sheldon. It was like watching a magician perform their signature trick. Some fans were losing their minds, calling it the move of the century. Others, well, they weren't so thrilled. You see, that's the thing about Caitlin. She's like basketball Marmite. You either love her or you can't stand her. Some fans were all over social media praising her skills and saying she's the future of the sport. But others, they were crying foul, saying she pushed off during that move against Sheldon. It's like she can't make a move without stirring up a storm of opinions.
wanting to be like them, so I think continuing to uplift and represent this league in a positive way is the best thing that we can do. That's great, and you have an opportunity to come back the next game and try to play a little bit better and give yourself a chance to take it back home and win.
She's the biggest star in all of sports, and she's a woman. This is very unique. No woman's ever been asked to carry this burden.
But you know what's really crazy? Caitlin's impact goes way beyond the court. She's not just changing how the game is played, she's changing how it's watched. Teams are literally rearranging their schedules to fit in more Caitlin Clark games. Why? Because when Caitlin plays, the crowds show up. Imagine being so good that entire organizations have to redraw their calendars just to accommodate your fans. That's not just talent, that's star power. And Caitlin, she's got it in spades. Star power is one thing, but versatility, that's a whole different ballgame. Caitlin's latest move has everyone asking, can she really excel in two completely different sports? The answer might shock you.
They didn't even bring it up. She makes the 3 and they don't even mention it. They didn't even mention it leading up to the game or talk about it.
Ratings, Caitlyn. Merch, Caitlyn. Business, Caitlyn.
Right.
Popularity, Caitlyn.
You thought Caitlin Clark was just a basketball phenom? Well, hold on to your hats, because she's about to shake things up in a way no one saw coming. Remember when she said, maybe play some golf? I think that's what I'm going to do until it gets too cold in Indiana. Turns out she wasn't kidding around. This isn't just some casual hobby we're talking about. Caitlin's gearing up to compete in an LPGA event next month, including a Pro-Am tournament. That's right, she's swapping her basketball for golf clubs, and she's not doing it for the Instagram pics. She's in it to win it. But here's the thing, basketball and golf, they're like night and day. On the court, Caitlin's all about high-intensity moves, quick decisions, and physical contact. But on the green, it's a whole different story. Golf demands precision, focus, and a completely different set of physical skills. It's like asking a sprinter to suddenly become a chess grandmaster. The transition is no joke. Think about it. In basketball, you're running, jumping, and making split-second decisions with 4 other teammates. In golf, it's just you, the club.
These rookies have put on quite a season, and it's not just Caitlin and Angel, Rickea Jackson and other rookies are killing it this year.
I feel like the best thing that I've tried to live by is like to just be the same person that I am off the court, whether I'm, leaving my apartment every single day or whether I'm here sitting in front of all of you. For myself, like coming in, right off my college season and then coming right to the WNBA, having that reset has been something that I probably haven't had in like a year.
And that tiny white ball, the pressure, it's all on you. There's no passing the ball when things get tough. Every swing counts, and there's nowhere to hide if you mess up. Now, some folks might be scratching their heads, wondering if Caitlin's bitten off more than she can chew. But let's not forget, we're talking about Caitlin Clark here. This is the same woman who turned the Indiana Fever from underdogs to playoff contenders in her rookie season.
Who was the one person that voted for Angel Reese? A lot of people speculate this Cheryl Swoops, but as of right now, we have no credible information.
Problem. She is a phenomenal talent. And an even better person. I happen to have met and did an event with Caitlin Clark. I think she's wonderful.
None other than Connecticut Sun reporter Tariq Foster was quick to clarify she wasn't the one who didn't vote for Caitlin.
When Caitlin sets her mind to something, she doesn't just participate, she dominates. But here's what's really wild. Caitlin's not just pushing her own limits, she's potentially redefining what's possible in women's sports. Think about it. How many athletes can you name who've competed professionally in 2 completely different sports at the same time? It's rare, like unicorn rare. If Caitlin pulls this off, we're not just talking about a talented athlete anymore. We're talking about potentially one of the greatest female athletes in history. She could be the one who breaks down the barriers between sports, showing that excellence isn't limited to just one field. And let's talk about what this could mean for women's golf. Caitlin's presence on the green could be a game changer. Remember how Tiger Woods transformed golf, bringing in fans who'd never even picked up a club before? Caitlin could do the same thing for women's golf. Suddenly, you've got basketball fans tuning into golf tournaments just to see how their favorite WNBA rookie does with a different kind of ball.
I've been waiting all season, and I know Aaliyah Boston has been supportive of Caitlin Clark, but Aaliyah Boston has a different personality.
Maybe after game 4, maybe game 5 is like, these lessons are really going to pay off for us in the end when we get down the stretch, and I think they certainly did.
For the first time since 2016, this team has clinched a playoff spot. You guys learned about it last night.
But let's be real for a second. This isn't going to be a walk in the park. Caitlin's facing a challenge that would make most pro athletes think twice. She's not just dipping her toes in the water. She's diving headfirst into the deep end of a totally different sport, and she's doing it while still crushing it in the WNBA. The question on everyone's mind is, can she really do both? Can Caitlin Clark dominate on the court and the green?
Finding who that anonymous voter was that snubbed Caitlin Clark from the history books, bro. Because as of right now, that is the biggest story in sports.
With 1 vote shy of being a unanimous WNBA Rookie of the Year, she received 66 of the 67 votes from the panel.
Disclosed her votes. Many have speculated that Clark would receive all 67 votes. Now, we all thought Caitlin Clark was going to win unanimously.
It's a tall order, no doubt about it. But if there's one thing we've learned about Caitlin, it's that she thrives on challenges. She's not just playing the game, she's changing it. While everyone's wondering if Clark can handle 2 sports, she's quietly revolutionizing women's basketball off the court. Her jersey sales are breaking records, but that's just the beginning. What if I told you Clark's changing the very way we watch women's sports? Caitlin Clark isn't just making waves on the court, she's creating a tsunami in the entire world of women's sports. Let's talk about those jersey sales for a second. They're not just good, they're historic. Clark's jersey is flying off the shelves faster than any other WNBA players. That's not just a win for her, it's a win for the whole league. But here's where it gets really wild. Remember when I said Clark was changing how we watch women's sports? I wasn't kidding. Her debut game wasn't just another game. It was the first live sporting event ever streamed on Disney+.
You know, a team that likes each other, you know, they play harder for each other, they sacrifice for each other. I believe that with my whole heart.
I mean, I'm just really happy for this organization, obviously. Yeah, I mean, look at these fans, they're incredible, so if it wasn't for them, I don't know if we'd be here.
You can also feel the buzz in the city about what we're going to be able to do. As long as we focus one game at a time, I think we'll be in a great spot.
That's huge. We're talking about a rookie who's already changing the game before she even steps on the court. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but lots of athletes are popular. True, but Clark's impact goes way beyond that. She's connecting with fans in a way that's totally unique. There's this team photo that went viral. Clark and her Indiana Fever teammates goofing around, just being themselves. It's not your typical polished PR shot, and that's exactly why fans love it. It shows Clark as a real person, someone you'd want to hang out with. And speaking of viral moments, have you seen that video of Clark reacting to her childhood photo? It's adorable.
Led them in scoring. She led the rookies in scoring. She led them in assists. She averaged like 6 rebounds a game.
But more people are starting to come forward and reveal, hey, it wasn't me who did this to Caitlin. It wasn't me who snubbed her.
And it's doing something really important. It's helping younger fans see themselves in her. They're not just watching a basketball superstar, they're seeing someone they can relate to. But let's be real for a second. Being in the spotlight isn't all fun and games. Clark's facing some serious challenges when it comes to fame and social media.
14th win for the Fever. Hadn't had this many in a long time. All right, we keep moving forward.
Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA.
That's how skilled you are. It's the other end that y'all got to start taking way more pride in and understanding like that is going to win us games.
There was this doctored photo of her that started circulating online. It sparked a whole conversation about the scrutiny female athletes face. It's not easy being under that kind of microscope, especially when you're just starting your career. Here's the thing though, Clark isn't just dealing with these challenges, she's navigating them like a pro. She's showing a whole generation of young athletes how to handle fame with grace. That's not something you can practice on the court or the green. It's a whole different skill set, and Clark's mastering it. You know what's really crazy? Clark isn't just changing the game for herself, she's changing it for a whole new generation of basketball fans. For kids who've never been interested in the WNBA before, Clark is the reason they're tuning in. She's not just a player, she's a gateway to the sport.
Both Caitlin, Angel, and Brink, who plays for my Sparks, they made the WNBA better. They're going to be tested.
But it seems like everything is going to be great for her because she's a great talent. She seems like a great gal. I hope she turns that franchise around.
And then her just confidence. You can't help but watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence, the flair. Like, she's a performer.
Think about that for a second. We're not just talking about a talented athlete here. We're talking about someone who could potentially change the face of women's sports for years to come. Clark isn't just playing the game, she's redefining it. She's showing that women's sports can be just as exciting, just as marketable, and just as impactful as men's. Caitlin Clark's not just playing two sports, she's rewriting the rulebook for women's athletics. From college superstar to WNBA sensation, and now she's taking on the LPGA. That's insane. But here's the real kicker. Clark's journey isn't just about her, it's about showing every young girl out there what's possible. Think about it. Clark's pushing boundaries like nobody's business. She's not just excelling in one sport, she's going for two. And she's doing it with style. You know what she said? I think it's a good thing to see. She's paving the way for future generations.
Caitlin Clark, what she's doing doesn't minimize what they've done, but we should have been giving her the credit. We saw the ratings, we saw the merchandise sales, we saw the attendance.
So people say, all of a sudden, I'm now interested in something I wasn't before. Look at the attendance, look at the viewership, and then they watch the games, and she's constantly being abused. She was stabbed in the eye last night.
Oh, you would think she would do this or to poke an eye like this. How are you going to go for the ball like this and then have your hand come down and hit her right in the eye?
That's not just talk, that's a game changer right there. So here's the million-dollar question. Is Caitlin Clark's dual sport career going to inspire more female athletes to break the mold? Are we about to see a whole new era of multi-sport superstars in women's athletics? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark's just getting started.